Hello, everyone. Welcome to this platform. Welcome to this season 2, episode 17. We are powered by All India Educators Forum. I'm your host, Aarti Bagri Gill. I'm SDG4 AIF Global Ambassador and CBSE resource person. So every time we bring panel discussions, and they are based on research based surveys. Let's unite together to support SDGs. Today we have respected speakers with us. Ms. Veena Rai Singh, AIF Global Ambassador. Ms. Divya Mehra, AIF Resource Person. Learning benefits every human being and should be available to all. Let's encourage the youth about SDGs 2030. Every time we have a topic of discussion, and this time it is integrated SDG 13 in education system. It means we are integrating SDG 13, that is climate action, with quality education. As we all educators are here, so we are all supporting SDG 4. So let's start our discussion with this interesting story. And for this, I'm inviting Ms. Divya Mehra for this. Yes, ma'am, please.
Welcome to the story of Little Hands for a Big Earth, a beautiful journey where children from Green Buds Preschool discover how even their tiny little actions can bring big impact on the planet. This case study shows a child holding a small plant, symbolizing hope, growth, and responsibility. The visual connect emotionally with the theme of children leading environmental change. So, the story is built around SDG 13 climate action, which urges everyone, including the children, to take steps to combat climate change. At Green Buds, the children loved their garden. They spent time watching butterflies, watering flowers, and playing in the nature. But one day, something changed. Their teacher, Miss Nia, noticed that the leaves were falling early. The soil was dry, and the garden was losing its life. She gently called the children and said, "Children, look closely. The soil is dry. Our earth needs help." And that's where the children's mission began to become young climate warriors.
That's so lovely to hear. And this story is going to be gradually in parts. So be connected, and we shall be continuing this story. Meanwhile, I'll be calling the next speaker for strategies for the students. So I am going to invite Ma'am Veena Rising for this. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, okay, this lovely story and how the children are actually being now motivated to become green warriors, or they are going to save the planet. Now, the activities here which can be taken up, like we say green school initiatives. So within the school, we have so many areas where and which can be taken care. Like if I say first thing is the canteen area where the children have food during the break time. So those areas in we can make plastic free. Those containers which are being used, they should not be of plastic. uh, Children can be advised to not bring any kind of polythene, rather they can go for the cloth bags. Any project and they which they take up, be it the arts project or science project, or say talking about the social science projects, they can do in such a way that the plastic is not being used. Like I will like to mention here, we in our school have said that we will not use thermocoats. So this way, the schools can make certain kinds of rule that no plastic should be utilized in any kind of projects. So then talking about like schools adopting eco-friendly practices to minimize waste. so that like wherever what we are doing, we are taking containers or wherever it is being so that the plastic is to be used, as I said just now, we can avoid that. Talking about like making children aware how to go for a non-plastic can say environment. So talking about all the competitions which can be taken care, like climate change debates can be held, then documentary screening, which can also include panel discussion. So more and more students can be involved here. Then talking about data analysis, right, like you must have noticed nowadays, the frequent can say rainfall which was taking place, people thought it is pre-monsoon or monsoon has arrived, but it was not the case. It was because the temperature of the Indian Ocean was is actually increasing, and there are now changes in the climate which is very evident, which we can see here. So I think that should raise an alarm. People should then start thinking that what is happening when actually the months to be warm, they we have showers, rain showers, whereas and now the monsoon to start, it has not started yet. It is being now delayed. So all this is, we can see that how the weather or climate is showing actually its original form, and we should take this as a warning that obviously. So when we show this data which are being now printed in the medias or pay newspapers, they can be taken up and they can be analyzed, they can be compared what has happened previous years and what is now happening and what can happen later on if we don't take care. This kind of comparison analysis projects can be done. Talking about like art and poetry, like within this art projects, paintings can be made by the children to make people aware about it. They can also write poems on it. Then talking about model, UN like MUN are now being actually modeled everywhere. Every school is going for it. So it can be as a topic given to the children to discuss, where the representatives of different countries, so-called different countries, are coming and discussing. So it can be a climate summit simulation. Like children sit and we know that how children come up with the ideas, their own ideas, original ideas they can present, which can actually help us go for the strategies which can help in further reducing this kind of problems in the climate. Thank you, ma'am.
Perfectly said, ma'am. Even I support MUNs. Of course, it's a need of time, and this picture is saying something which is really touchy. This poster is really saying something. So let's move ahead with this story part, which we had dropped down in the previous slide. So let's carry on with this, ma'am. Yes, please.
Thank you, ma'am. So, as we continue with the story, the children played in the garden and they began to notice that the things were not the same anymore. As you can see, the soil had begun to become dry and cracked. It no longer was able to hold water, and the plants were struggling to grow. So, the children observed this. The once vibrant and the colorful flowers started to become droopy. The beauty were fading. The garden that used to be full of life now had fewer butterflies. So the children were really fond of these butterflies watched around, but they no longer were able to see them. It was a clear sign that something was wrong in the tiny ecosystem, and the children were worried. These changes confused and worried the children. That's when Miss Nia explained that these are the signs of climate change. Now, what exactly is climate change? The children wondered. A condition where the earth is heating up due to pollution, deforestation, and too much of carbon in the atmosphere. So the children were trying to comprehend that how are these things trying to correlate with their present existence, and how are these being contributed by themselves. As she said, the earth is getting hotter. And although the kids felt sad, they were ready to do something about it. So here brings the change that now the children were willing to become the earth warriors.
Oh, that's lovely. So, in this garden, as I can see, from dry soil to droopy flowers to fewer butterflies. So, this is how we are connecting the children. When we go for experiential learning outside the classroom, we connect the children with the real environment, real nature. And I believe this is the need of time. So, now quickly move towards that SDG 13 based activity for higher grades. So I am going to invite Ma'am Veena again for this. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I go into the activities, I would like to actually emphasize on the picture which was shown in the previous slide, and specifically that part where the butterflies, few butterflies were shown. Yes. So this actually, one thing we have to understand here, that an environment or an area which shows presence of butterfly, we have to understand, and this is scientific, the scientists are saying actually, like if the environment is clean and green, more butterflies. If the can say environment is polluted, you will not see any butterflies. So you should clap your back, sorry, excuse me, you should actually pat your back, that when you see some butterflies in your surroundings, it is a signature that your environment, your surrounding is green and clean. So yes, coming to the activities which can be taken to help children understand the importance of the climate change, and importance that we have to ensure that climate doesn't change actually. So we can organize some tree planting. It can be done in the school area if the school is big and we have certain areas, or we can go outside the surrounding, just check for the areas which are getting drier, where a lot of tree cutting has taken place. So those areas can be picked up, and then tree planting can be done. Then talking about next, that is recycling program. So within school, children can take those exercise, like bringing certain waste material from home and then making into certain useful things that can be done. So recycling and reusing can be taught to the children and make them understand that it's very important that we ensure that trees cut or tree cutting becomes lesser, lesser, and lesser. Thank you, ma'am.
By this recycling program, I recall one of the speaker who had spoken in one of the sessions that in their school, the school actually asked for those tetra packs of milk, empty one.
Okay.
When you use that milk at home, you have to bring those plastic pouches and those left out Tetra Pak, cleaned one. You can, rinse it from water and you can bring it to school. What the school is doing, that is the other one side, because the children are of kindergarten and they are of FLM. So idea here for the children is just to inculcate that we are not throwing this poly bag or this tetra bag pack into the dustbin. Rather, we are taking it to school. School is going to do something with it. So the idea is that we are inculcating in children that you have to make our environment polythene free, tetra pack free, plastic free, because children in FLN, they understand up to a level only according to their age milestone. So that was a wonderful input given by one of the teachers in one of the sessions. So now this is all for this part one. And thank you everyone for watching this. Now we'll be continuing in part 2. Stay connected, stay tuned everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.